Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Vrindavan Dham, Vrindavan Dham, Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Jaya Radhe Shyam. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurutmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vansha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Grandharaj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki. Hare Krishna. So thank you everyone for coming this morning. Appreciate it. It's wonderful to be in Melbourne. Thank you so much for your very warm welcome. It's definitely one of the most ecstatic temples I've been to in a long time. So today we're reading from Canto number 8. We're reading from chapter number 22, entitled Bali Maharaj Surrenders His Life. Today we're reading from text number 21. Shri Brahma Vacha Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha Deva Deva Jaganmaya Munchainam Rita Sarvashvam Maya Marhati Nigraham Shri Brahma Vacha Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha Deva Deva Jaganmaya Munchainam Rita Sarvashvam Maya Marhati Nigraham Shri Brahma Vacha Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha Deva Deva Jaganmaya Munchainam Rita Sarvashvam Maya Marhati Nigraham. Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha Deva Deva Jaganmaya Maya Marhati Nigraham. Mataji's. Shri Brahma Vacha Shri Brahma Uvacha. Lord Brahma said, Bhuta Bhavana, O Supreme Being, the well-wisher of everyone, who can cause one to flourish. Bhuta Isha, O Master of everyone. Deva Deva, O worshipable deity of the demigods. Jagat Maya, O all-pervading one. Muncha, please release. Einam, this poor Bali Maharaj. Vrita Sarvashvam, now bereft of everything. Na, not. I am such a poor man. Arhati deserves nigraham, punishment. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Lord Brahma said, okay, sure. O well-wisher and master of all living entities, O worshipable deity of all the demigods, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, now this man has been sufficiently punished, for you have taken everything. Now you can release him. He does not deserve to be punished more. Thank you. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, very short and sweet. When Lord Brahma saw that Prahlad Maharaj and Vindhyavali had already approached the Lord to ask mercy for Bali Maharaj, he joined them and recommended Bali Maharaj's release on the grounds of worldly calculation. Srila Prabhupada ki. Bali Maharaj has been stripped of everything, and now all the great souls are coming, praying, Lord, go easy on him. You already took everything away. Give him a break. So now Lord Brahma is pitching in as well, saying, you've taken everything, Krishna. Krishna is a thief. Krishna is a thief. Sometimes devotees in their cars, they play Prabhupada lectures. So if you turn your car off when the lecture is still going on, then when you fire the engine, the lecture comes back on straight away. So one devotee was playing a lecture. Anyway, he parked up the car, turned the engine off while the lecture was on. Someone broke into the car. This person was trying to hotwire the car. Anyway, this thief managed to get the engine to start revving. As soon as the engine turned on, the lecture came on, and Prabhupada said, everyone in the material world is a thief. I was like, my God, grip up. And then Prabhupada said, because everyone is stealing from Krishna. Bhoktaram yagya tapasham sarva loka maheshwaram. Everyone is a thief. One time someone had come on a morning walk with Srila Prabhupada. He was donating generously to the temple, so the devotees wanted him to get the mercy. So they pushed him forward. Prabhupada started speaking to him. Srila Prabhupada said, what do you do for a living? He said, I'm a glass manufacturer. Prabhupada said, where does glass come from? He says, it's from the minerals, from the sand. Prabhupada says, where does that come from? He says, well, that comes from the earth. And where does the earth come from? From Krishna. Prabhupada looked at him and said, so basically you're a thief. Because devotees were like, no, Prabhupada, he's donating. So they said, no, Prabhupada, he's donating, he's very generous. Prabhupada said, oh, small thief then. Small thief. Everyone is a thief. Because we take things and then we say it's ours when we didn't produce it, we have no ownership over it, yet we covet it and we live our lives as though it's ours. Therefore, everyone is a thief. So what does Krishna do? Krishna says, I'll be a better thief. And what I'll do is I'll take everything away. Yasyaham anugranami harishye tadhanam shane tato dhanam tyajantasya svajana dukhadukitam. Krishna says in the 11th canto, when I especially favor someone, then I take away everything. First I begin, tato dhanam. First thing I take away is their wealth. And then taking away their wealth, everyone begins to abandon them. Svajana, all those people you thought were your own people who loved you, who would be with you through thick and thin. As soon as you start losing things, then they begin to leave you. Possessions leave you, Krishna says, I take it all away. People will leave you, I'll take everyone away. And then svajana dukha dukitam, one after another, calamities will come. Welcome to your future. It's like, oh my God. Prabhupada says, Krishna says, when I especially favor someone, then I take everything away. Are you ready? Srila Prabhupada himself was in Vrindavan and he wrote Vrindavan Bhajan. And in his poem he writes, I'm sitting alone in Sri Vrindavan Dham, and in this condition I'm getting many realizations. I have my wife, my sons, my grandsons, but they are all a fluteless glory. Today Krishna has shown me the naked form of material energy. Today Krishna has taken everything away from me. Yasyaham anugrinami harishye tadhanam shane. Prabhupada says, I'm sitting here in Vrindavan and I'm reflecting. In his poem, Srila Prabhupada says, this is misery. But it gives me a laugh. I sit alone in Vrindavan Dham and I laugh. Who do I love in this Maya samsara? All that is left of my family life is a long list of names. Hare Krishna. Yes, Krishna is going to take away everything. Yes. Sometimes I travel in West Africa. So in West Africa, especially in countries like Nigeria and Ghana, they have prosperity churches. So prosperity churches, they also have their Sunday program, Love Feast. And what they do in every single prosperity church is the pastor gives a lecture, and at the end of the lecture there's testimonies. And everyone is invited from the crowd to give a testimony. And so someone comes to the front and says, since Jesus came into my life, I found the man of my dreams. Everyone claps. And then someone else comes forward. Since Jesus came into my life, my back pain was cured. And everyone claps. Another person comes forward. Since Jesus came in my life, my bank balance tripled. Everyone claps. I was thinking, if we start doing testimonies at the Hare Krishna temple, since Krishna came into my life, I became ill. Since Krishna came into my life, I lost my power, my position, my reputation. Krishna bestowed his mercy on me. Very interesting. Krishna takes away everything. Bilvamangala Thakur had deep realization of this. You know Bilvamangala Thakur, no? He was born in a South Indian Brahmin family, but he became attached to a courtesan, a prostitute, Chintamani. Imagine that, prostitute named Chintamani. On one side of the river she lived, and on the other side of the river he lived. And every single day he would cross the river by boat and go to meet her. And then the biographers tell us on one particular day he was doing the funeral rites of his father. And as they were doing the funeral rites for his father, all he could think about, this is how much illusion he was rooted in, all he could think about was Chintamani and how he was going to meet her after. The funeral rites of his father were going on. He was telling the priest, "Jaldi, jaldi, quick, 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 finish it up. I need to go." After the ceremony, they've served out a feast to all the sadhus. Bilvamangala Thakur brought some tiffins to take some for Chintamani. Then as he decided to go to her home, a huge storm broke out. And as the storm broke out, he thought, will I make it there? Then in his mind he thought, will I make it there? I have to make it there. So he went to the river, obviously on a stormy night. The winds were high, the waves were high. What boatman would be there? There was no boatman. Who would be silly enough to try to cross the river in that weather? Bilvamangala Thakur wanted to. No boatman. He said, what to do? I have to swim. So he began swimming. I don't know if he was a good swimmer, but at one point he began drowning. And as he began drowning, he wasn't even thinking about saving his life. He was thinking about Chintamani and meeting her. Finally, he caught hold of what he thought was a log. Finally made it to the other side, the other bank. And then as he got to the bank, he saw in the light, oh my God, it's a dead corpse. So fixed on his goal that he wasn't even aware he was holding a dead body. He scrambled, he went towards Chintamani's home. Of course, she was thinking on a day like this, his father's funeral and so many things, definitely he's not going to come. So she went to sleep. So finally he came to her home. He was trying to get her attention. No answer from the door. Where is she? I came all the way. No, she must open. So he's shouting. But couldn't get through to her. Then he thought, I have to climb over the wall. So on the wall he saw a rope. So he grabbed hold of the rope. Somehow or other got to the top, realized, my God, it's not a rope, it's a snake. He jumped over the wall and hit the ground with a thud. And with that noise, Chintamani woke up. Who's that? Came out, Bilvamangala Thakur. How you came? How could you come on a day like this? And then the prophetic words. If you had this much determination to get Krishna, where you would be. Those words were like penetrated his heart. And then he realized, my God, I'm completely in illusion. Different accounts then say different things. Some say he immediately went to Vrindavan. Some say he went to his guru Somagiri and he learned from him for some time and then he went to Vrindavan. Either way, eventually Bilvamangala Thakur said, I have to give it up. I'm going to Vrindavan. Later on, Bilvamangala Thakur wrote a book, Krishna Karanamrita. Karanamrita is very nice. Like in English we say, music to the ears, if someone says something very sweetly. Karanamrita literally means the nectar for the ears. So he wrote this beautiful book. And in the beginning of that book, the very first line Bilvamangala Thakur says, Chintamani jayati somagirir gurur me. He's so simple. He's so straightforward. In the very first line of the book, he says, I offer my respectful obeisances to my two gurus, Somagiri and the prostitute Chintamani. Can you imagine to be so straightforward that you just say, my guru was a prostitute. Your guru was a prostitute? Yes, I was going there. To be so straightforward. Normally, you know, like whenever you become famous, you need to get a PR person to do a cleanup on your profile, you know, and make sure nobody finds out any of the skeletons in the closet. Right? It's interesting, like at the beginning of the book, you're trying to say something which is going to give people faith in you. Like, you know, like when they introduce a speaker, they say nice things like, you really should listen to this person. I mean, imagine they introduce a speaker, and here is your speaker for today. He was going to a prostitute. I thought, really? Do I really want to listen to this person? But Bilvamangala Thakur is so straightforward. Saralata, e Vaishnavatva. Simplicity is Vaishnavism. What you see is what you get. This is who I was. So straightforward. That's incredible. So Bilvamangala Thakur begins walking towards Vrindavan. And on his way to Vrindavan, he stops at the house of a Brahmana. And lo and behold, after everything he's been through, he looks at the Brahmani, the wife of the Brahmana, and again he becomes attracted. And again his mind starts reeling. And again thinking, feeling, willing, I want to enjoy. The Brahmana comes to him and says, "Oh great sadhu, how can we serve you?" Bilvamangala Thakur says, "I want to enjoy." The Brahmana is so amazing, he says, "You want to enjoy? Why didn't you tell me? I'll tell her." This incredible, incredible interaction. And then the Brahmani comes in front of him. And in that moment, Bilvamangala Thakur realizes, what am I doing? Again, I became bewildered. He looks at the Brahmani and he says, "Give me your hairpins." He takes her hairpins, plucks out his eyes. Bilvamangala Thakur said, "I don't want these eyes again to divert me from the real thing." Don't try this at home. Bilvamangala Thakur, now blind, goes towards Vrindavan. How does a blind man walk towards Vrindavan? But because he has desire, because he has blessings, because of his seriousness and sincerity, Mukham Karoti vachalam pangam langhayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurum dinatarinam. When you have grace, even a dumb person can speak eloquently. Even a lame person can cross mountains. And even a blind person can see stars in the sky. As Bilvamangala Thakur is walking towards Vrindavan, a young boy comes to him and says, "I will take you." There's a very beautiful old movie of this you can see. It's on YouTube. And the boy holds Bilvamangala Thakur's hands. Of course, he can't see the boy. He's just plucked out his eyes. But the boy's hand is so soft. And the smell and the energy and the beauty that he can perceive, not through his eyes, but just through the physical proximity of being near that boy, he realizes, well, who is this? Very special. Boy says, "Oh Baba, I'll take you to Vrindavan." Bilvamangala Thakur arrives in Vrindavan. The boy says, "You're here now, you're home." And the boy says, "But now I have to go, my mom's calling me." I don't know, no, where are you going? You have to stay with me. No, I'm sorry, I have to go. So eventually he leaves his hand. Boy walks, no, I will catch you again. You will have to come back. I can't live without you. I don't know who you are. Of course, Krishna had come to him. So then later on in Vrindavan, Bilvamangala Thakur wrote so many books, but then he wrote many beautiful songs as well. And then he wrote about how Krishna is a thief. Vraje prasidam navanita chauram gopan gananam chadukula chauram Aneka janmarjita papa choram choragraganyam purusham namami. Vraje prasidam navanita choram. Who is that boy who lives in Braja, who gives joy to all the residents of Braja? Navanita choram. He's stealing the butter. Gopangananam chadukula choram. Not just that, but he will begin to steal away all of your miseries. Krishna steals the butter, he steals clothes of the gopis, he steals the mind of all the residents of Vrindavan, he steals the sinful reactions of all the living entities. And like this, Bilvamangala Thakur says, Krishna, you are a thief, took away everything. So this is Krishna. Krishna takes away everything. Krishna is Manohara. Manohara means one who takes the mind away. One commentator says the gopis and Srimati Radharani, they cannot be criticized for their act of going and running to see Krishna. No one can criticize them and say they did an adharmic act. Because the senses are subservient to the mind. The mind is Gopala. One of the names for the mind is Gopala, the protector of the senses. So this commentator says you can't criticize the gopis because when they ran to Krishna, Krishna had stolen away their mind. So the mind were no longer in charge of the senses. So therefore they cannot be held responsible for what their senses do. Because the mind is the controller of the senses and the mind had been stolen by Krishna. So nobody can criticize the gopis because they were not in control of their own minds. So this is very, very profound, that what Krishna will do in our life is he'll begin to take many things away. Krishna, his thievery is very, very unique, because when Krishna takes everything away from you, the net result is that he leaves you with the most beautiful thing. Have you ever met a thief in this world who takes away everything dear to you and then finally leaves something for you that's more valuable than you ever thought you could have? That thief is Krishna. So the first thing Krishna may take away from us is our possessions. Bali Maharaj is the example. Krishna came in inconspicuously. Vamandev said, give me some charity. Bali Maharaj said, what do you want? He said, just 3 steps. Just 3 steps? Don't you want more than that? Vamandev replies, Yavanto Vishaya Preshta Strilokyam Ajitendriyam Nasuknuvanti Ste Sarve Pratipura Yitum Nripa. Bali Maharaj said, don't you want more than 3 steps of land? Vamandev says, Yavanto Vishaya Preshta Strilokyam Ajitendriyam. If one's senses are uncontrolled, it doesn't matter if you give them everything within the 3 worlds. Nasuknuvanti, they won't be happy. Therefore, I don't need much. Just give me a little bit. Krishna took away everything. The devotees are also agents of Vamandev. Because they come into your life. You don't need to change anything. Yeah, right. And then before you know it, they've taken away everything. So the first thing is, Krishna may take away your possessions. If in your spiritual life you begin to feel like Krishna is taking away my material opulence, it's failing, could be a good sign. Have to be ready. Srila Prabhupada said, Krishna tested me in two ways in my life. First, he tested me by taking everything away. And then later on, he tested me by giving me everything. So you don't know. Krishna may take away material possessions. Krishna may take away your health. Krishna, Parikshit, cursed to die in 7 days. And what did Parikshit say? Today Krishna came in front of me in the form of a Brahmin's curse. He saw that curse, that arrangement of Krishna to take away his health and his longevity in this world, that was Krishna. That's the vision of a devotee. He realizes Krishna may take away my health. Krishna may immediately at one point say, okay, your time is coming. I was just, before I came to Australia, I was just in Hong Kong. And in the morning someone messaged me from London, and they said, and he said, my brother, 41, I'm 43, so 2 years younger than me. He said he just had some headaches, no previous health diagnosis, went to the doctor said you need a brain scan, did a brain scan, tumor in the brain, stage 4, 1 year. That's it. That's it. In one day, life can change. He called me completely. What do I do? Krishna is serious. He may do things. Krishna may take away our possessions. Krishna may take away our health. Krishna may even take away people from your life. Narad Muni lost his mother very early. May happen like that. Krishna may take people away from our life. Every time time takes away something from us, we have to understand this is Krishna's arrangement to elevate our consciousness and deepen our devotion and intensify our spiritual desperation. Time destroys everything. Time takes everything away. That's the function of time. And so, we have to be ready for that. To get the real thing in Krishna consciousness, Krishna may make an arrangement so that we become completely dependent on Him. So Krishna may take away all these things. May take away reputation, may take away position, may take away abilities. Even in Shastra you see this sometimes, Krishna just takes away the abilities of certain individuals. Because what happens is we identify with all of these things. We identify ourselves on the basis of our abilities, our facilities, and the various identities. These are generally the three things that we identify ourselves with and establish our sense of self-worth based on. My abilities make me valuable. My facilities make me valuable. My identities and my roles and positions in this world make me valuable. And Krishna says, you're not valuable because of any of those things. You're valuable because Jivera Svarupa Hoy Krishnera Nitya Das Krishnera Tatasta Shakti Beda Beda Prakash. You're valuable because you're an eternal soul who has the ability to engage in pastimes of love. But while we're identifying with our abilities, our facilities, and our identities, we can't connect in pure love. And so what does Krishna do? He can teach you by the Shastra. He can teach us by showing us examples around us. But when none of that works, then Krishna has to come in and do something. When Krishna wants to call the cows back home every evening, then the first thing he does is he plays his flute. And if they don't hear the flute, then the next thing Krishna does is he blows the horn. And if they don't hear the horn, then the next thing Krishna does is he goes with a stick and he chases them all back. And so the message gets louder and louder and louder the more that the living entity is not able to hear. So this is Krishna's daily work. He's a thief. Friedrich Nietzsche, the German philosopher, once said, "I will only believe in a God who knows how to dance." So it's very interesting because he had this very stereotypical idea of who God is, and he was like, I don't ascribe to the stereotypical idea of God. I will only believe in a God who knows how to dance. Well, Mr. Nietzsche, Krishna dances. Not just that. Krishna smiles, he laughs. Krishna even wrestles. And you know what, Mr. Nietzsche? Krishna also steals. He is not stereotypical by any stretch of the imagination. Krishna is the most unpredictable, creative divinity you can ever come across. And if people think God is the one who gives, gives and gives, then when you come to Krishna, don't expect the same. Because Krishna is creative. And Krishna won't just give, give and give. Krishna may also take, and take some more. Because Krishna is a thief. So Bali Maharaj is experiencing this very, very first-hand. When we travel around the world, we meet devotees. And practically every single devotee comes to us and says, Krishna is taking it away. Why? We need to understand deeply that this will happen. This is part of the plan. This is not the plan going wrong. This is the right plan. It's not going wrong. So the Bhagavatam is not just to read. It's not just a nice story. It's not just for entertainment. We're reading here, Krishna took everything away from Bali Maharaj. This is reality. This is life. So, let us embrace Krishna's plan, difficult as it is, and it's difficult. I'm not sitting here pretending that I'm that person. When we have caring Vaishnavas around us, when we have good friends in Krishna consciousness, then they can help us to see all of these plans from Krishna. And therefore, together, we can help each other to see how Krishna is magically engineering things in our life to bring us closer to Him. That is how we advance in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, it's 8:30. We have some time for questions. If anyone wants to make any comments or questions, yeah, sure.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for a nice class. You mentioned how Krishna takes all these things away from us, all these material possessions, but then how come that when we pray to Krishna, or sometimes when we beg to Krishna to take away our pride, our offensive attitude, or our inattentiveness, He doesn't seem to take that away. So can you explain that? Speaking for myself.
Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridyasa arjuna tistati. Krishna is sitting in your heart. Krishna is not just hearing your words, He's hearing your heart. And therefore, with our words we can say so many things, but Krishna is in a deeper part of our being. And Krishna is saying, yes, yes, you may say, but what's in your heart? I have to answer your heart, because that's what's most dear to you. Man proposes, God disposes. And therefore, the prayer must be a heartfelt prayer. Sometimes we feel we are making the prayer, but then in our life, you see, if you really want to know what your principles are, then look at your activities. Sometimes we do sessions with leaders where we tell them, what are the principles by which you lead? And then they write down all their principles: humility, fairness, da 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 da. And then we ask them, now look at your activities. Do they match your principles? So therefore, when we don't just make a prayer to Krishna, that Krishna make me humble, but then we actually act in our life to try to embody that prayer, then Krishna says, no, no, serious, really wants to do it. And then definitely Krishna will arrange. So yes, Krishna will take away the pride. That's the daily work of Krishna, definitely. There's 3 ways to become humble. One is by hearing Krishna's words. Kesha gras at the bhagasya. You're just 1/10,000th the tip of a hair. Relax. But if we don't hear Krishna's words and become humble, then the next way we can become humble is by being humbled by a devotee. Devotees are so close to Krishna, they're so spiritually pure that when we come within their vicinity, immediately we feel the humility. Their purity awakens humility within us. Therefore, the saintly can also make us humble. One man, he was going to see Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, so he said to his friend, I'll go to see the sadhu, but I won't bow down. I don't bow down to anyone. He said, no, no, he's a sadhu, you should bow down. No, it's a culture. No, no, I don't bow down to anyone. So his friend thought, anyway, let him come. This man walked in, he saw Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, and before he could even think, immediately, he said, I started going down. I was thinking, why do I go down? I don't bow down to anyone. He said, but this man's purity made me bow down. So if you come in the midst of someone who has that purity, that can awaken our humility. And ultimately, if we don't do it through hearing, if we don't do it through a saintly person, then what to do? Krishna may humiliate us. That's Burijan Prabhu, once he came out of his ashram in Govardhan, and there was, these sugar cane machines? Crush the sugar cane. He made a prayer. May the hard, crushing wheel of life extract some humility from my offense-hardened heart, and may the nectar of that humility give rise to pure love for Krishna. A powerful prayer, no? May the hard, crushing wheel of life extract some humility from my offense-hardened heart, and may the nectar of that humility give rise to pure love for Krishna. Dainya and prema go hand in hand. And therefore, as one becomes humble, their heart becomes a place where prema can flourish. So yes, some thoughts. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, you mentioned in regards to Bilvamangala Thakur's Krishna Karnamrita, and how he wrote about prostitute in the book. And then you made a statement that simplicity is Vaishnavism. Srila Prabhupada also says that Krishna consciousness is simple for the simple and complicated for complicated. What does it really mean to be simple, and how can I get to that?
What does it mean to be simple? Simplicity can be on different levels. There's simplicity in habits. Prabhupada said, simple living, high thinking. We don't overcomplicate our life. When we're complicated in our habits and our lifestyle, then immediately we have to complicate our thinking to live up that lifestyle. That's why you see there's a beauty in the simplicity of village life. But immediately when you have 5 jobs and a mortgage and da-da-da and this and that, then you have to also be complicated. You have to think 10 steps ahead of the taxman who's taking away all your money, and all sorts of calculations come in. First level of simplicity is simplicity in habits, in lifestyle. They even know this in the corporate world. For example, Warren Buffett. He says, when I want to make decisions for important business decisions, then I go to the mountain, I take 1 change of dress, and I eat cookies and muesli and milk for the whole weekend. Because when you live a simplistic habit, then you have more headspace to think about deeper things. So first thing is simplicity in habit. Second thing is simplicity in speech. Oftentimes in the way we speak with each other, there's so much duplicity. So therefore, to be simple in speech. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyam hitam. Speak truthfully, speak honestly, but also speak pleasingly and beneficially. Simplicity in speech. But ultimately what simplicity means is that what you see is what I am. That doesn't mean if you're proud, you just act proud with everyone, because after all, that's what I am. No, it means that you try to share with people what's really going on within you, and you don't try to put up a false pretense or a facade. So that's very difficult, because the tendency is to always project ourselves as something we are not. Sometimes we say, fake it till you make it. But the problem is sometimes you'll fake it so much that you think you've made it. Or you'll fake it just to convince others that you've made it. Or you'll fake it without a sincere desire to make it. Then fake it till you make it won't work. Therefore, yes, we have to sometimes withhold our conditioned nature, but we always act with honesty. Basically, simplicity means honesty. There's only one leg on which Kali Yuga is standing. Which leg is that? There you go. I may not have cleanliness, I may not have mercy, I may not have austerity. All in all, I may not have any good qualities at all. But if I can come in front of Krishna and say, but Krishna, I'm honest. Then in that honesty and that simplicity, then Krishna will carry what we lack. So these are some thoughts. Simplicity basically means honesty.
Thank you.
That helps.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
You go.
So, you said Krishna takes away everything, and this is like for devotees like Bali Maharaj or Srila Prabhupada. So, but like devotees like me, I mean, who are not exalted at that level, so how we understand that it is my karma playing a part, or is it like Krishna actually intervening and taking it?
When I go through things in my life, is it karma or is it Krishna? In one sense, everything is Krishna, because karma is working under Krishna's jurisdiction. Maya dhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. It's working all under my direction. So directly or indirectly, everything is Krishna. Krishna sets up the laws of karma. But yes, it's mentioned like that when we desire to move towards Krishna, then Krishna becomes personally involved in our life. And therefore Krishna will begin to dispense our karma but dispense it in a very, very specific way that will bring us closer to Him. So yes, anyone who's a devotee, Krishna's hand is there. It's not just the laws of nature. Krishna is specifically, specifically arranging things.
Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes. Is there a question here? I saw a hand here. Okay, yeah, sure.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the beautiful class. My question is, I listened to your classes all the time. You say that we should disconnect to connect. Can you give some examples how to practically do that? Thank you, sir.
Well, the first is the morning program. The morning program, if you think about it in a different way, is essentially a disconnection. Because what do we do in the morning program? We don't deal with any of the affairs of this world. Ideally, we're not doing the management in japa time. Ideally. What we're basically doing in the morning program is we're connecting with our first identity. My first identity is that I'm an eternal servant of Krishna, and everything else I do in life is just a role. You're not a mother. You're a spirit soul who plays the role of a mother. You're not working in the world. You're a spirit soul, an eternal servant of Krishna that for some time has a specific career that they have to practice. When you begin the day by connecting with your first identity, then what happens is that everything in your life becomes centered around that first identity. So what happens in the world today is that the first thing people do when they wake up is they look at their phone. And they look at all of their messages. And they look at all of the demands and the roles and the responsibilities. So immediately what you've done now is you've rooted yourself in that conception that that's who I am. So the first disconnection is morning program. Prabhupada said to one of his disciples, perhaps it was Shrutakirti Prabhu, Prabhupada said, if you go Mangalarti for 12 years, every day, everything you say will be perfect. It was interesting, Prabhupada said that. There's something, no? So the first disconnection is every day in the morning. The second disconnection is that sometime in the year, you can come out of your normal situation and go to a different space, go to the dhams, and there again disconnect a little bit, engage in more concentrated spiritual practices and reorientate and realign your life. So we have to do this. This is necessary. Because if we are constantly just surrounded by the demands of this world, then there's a very good chance that we'll begin to identify with all of that and forget what we're really here for.
It's for working family people. If someone has no work or family, their life is only Krishna and devotees, for them, how can they disconnect and connect?
Even they have to disconnect. Because you're not even your services. You're not a temple president, you're not a pujari, you're not a book distributor, you're not a cook, you're not even any of those things either. Therefore Krishna may take away all of those identities. Therefore Mahaprabhu says, Naham vipro na cha narapatir napi vaisho na sudro gopi bhartu padakamalayo das dasam. So even devotees who are engaged in full-time service, even they have to disconnect. So everyone,
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the nice class. I am particularly fond of the story that you told about how Krishna sometimes has to get the stick on some. I understand that that's how I came to Krishna. But and you spoke also about how Krishna will sometimes take away our health. And I'm watching that happen with my family. All of them seem to have something wrong with them, but none of them are devotees. And I'm wondering, how can I, they're constantly telling me about this is happening, all these material things, and it's tricky because it's on the one level contaminating to be constantly hearing these things, but you want to help them. So I'm wondering how to navigate trying to, they know that I'm a devotee, so
Yeah,
how
I
can we
think
navigate
philosophically, like what we're talking about here, that Krishna takes away everything from the devotee, this is perhaps not the message for the masses. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they
it's
don't
like
want to hear
this
that.
is very advanced, no? Like what we're actually talking about here, this is serious stuff. Like now we're not just talking about religion as some kind of add-on to life that makes your life better, and which is what 99.9% of people are looking for. This is serious stuff. Like if you really want the real thing, it could be a rocky ride. So therefore I think with people generally in the world, I think it's just compassion, I think it's kindness, I think it's about helping people to realize that there's a future, that there are still beautiful things that they can and they should be doing in their life. One of the main things we have to do is go to people's homes when they lose someone. And our message is always that life will never be the same, but life can still be beautiful. And I think that's the main thing that we have to do, is give people a hope, give people a vision, give people the inspiration and enthusiasm and the hunger to wake up tomorrow and try again. And then when someone is sufficiently advanced and sufficiently desirous of the real thing, then we can begin to share with them that it could get intense. So people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So I think in the beginning it's just that's more important.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes. I realize the time is going. I think we're going to go for 5 or 10 more minutes, but if anyone needs to leave, don't feel...
Thank you, Maharaj, for the enlightening class. My question is partially answered, but I still want to ask that we can see as practicing sadhakas the grace of the Lord in the form where He steals everything. But how do we explain that to people who are not yet devotees?
Yeah, so I mean, a similar point here. We can't, I'll give you an example. So I was mentioning sometimes we go to the homes of people who need comfort. So once one devotee called me, he said, I want you to go to this home. Someone's just passed away. So I turned the car around, I started driving towards the home. And just before I got to the home, he called me again. He said, are you there? I said, yeah, I just pulled up. He said, just let me speak to you before you go in. So on the phone, he said, let me tell you the story. You need to know what you're going into. So he said, you're going into this family home. It's a family, they have 2 daughters. Last year, one of the daughters was walking in the town center and she got mugged and stabbed and killed. So I was like, okay. She said, and then he said, and just 6 days ago, on the anniversary of that daughter's first year anniversary of passing away, the other daughter went to the top of the car park and jumped. So now you're going, this is where you're going. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what do you say? So I came out of the car, and so I walked up to the door. I was thinking like, I don't know, what do you say, you know? I went like this to knock on the door. Before I could even knock, the door opened. And the mother was there. And with tears in her eyes, she just looked at me and said, why did Krishna do this to me? You can't, how do you explain it? I didn't try and explain it, no philosophy. Even Bhishma Dev looked at the Pandavas and he said, Nahyasya karhichit papan puman veda viditsitam yad vijigyasaya yukta muyanti kavayopihi. Who can understand the plan of Krishna? Even the kavis, muyanti, become completely bewildered trying to understand Krishna's plan. You can't understand Krishna's plan, but what you can try to do is feel Krishna's love. Because when you love someone, even if they do something which is completely strange, you will never doubt them, because you know they love me. Therefore, the whole world is trying to understand God's plan. And what will be more wiser to do is just develop your love for God. Because if you love God, then you will never be bewildered, even when Krishna does the most bewildering things. And so, I don't think we can make anyone understand, because you can't know, Krishna is inconceivable. But in principle we can understand, and then over and above that, all we're trying to do is feel reciprocation of Krishna's love and have confidence in Krishna. Rakshishyati divishvasho goptritve varanam tatha. Krishna is the protector, and I have that vishvas. Understand, vishvas means a firm conviction. Once that vishvas is there, even when things are inexplicable, one's love will continue to flow unimpeded. Therefore Kunti Maharani says, Tvaime nanya vishaya matir madhupate sakrit ratim udvahatad adha gange vogam udanvati. She says, just as the Ganga flows to the ocean like a gush without being impeded by anything, allow my rati to also flow towards you without being distracted in any way. So she had that. I mean, Kunti Maharani is like, I mean, could anyone have gone through anything more? And that's what she says. So yeah, it's... After talking like this on the Vyasa, you think, oh my God, Krishna, you know. Like, I don't know, like you say all these things in front of the mic and then you're like, oh my God, Krishna, what's he going to do next, you know? You begin to like start sweating, you know, once you speak about all these things so authoritatively. So in front of Krishna, I humbly submit, just as a disclaimer. We're all trying. It's so hard. But this is what Krishna is teaching us.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So the question I had, Maharaj, is that you mentioned that when we pray to Krishna, it should be a heartfelt prayer. So now my question is that when the heart itself is full of material desires and still not convinced of the goal, still not surrendered enough, then how do we pray sincerely?
We are Mishra Bhaktas. We're mixed. No devotee can say they don't have any love in their heart. In fact, nobody can say they don't have love in their heart, because Chaitanya Charitamrita tells us, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, Sadhya Kabunoi, Shravanadi Sudachite, Karaye Yudoi. Love for Krishna is already in your heart. And therefore, love is unfolding like a flower. Maybe some people's love is like a bud stage, and others are blossoming, and others have blossomed. But you have some love in your heart. Therefore, sometimes in English, someone may say something like, with all the humility at my command, I request. Saying, I am not humble, but I have some humility, and with whatever humility I have at my command, I'm coming before you. So therefore, yes, we are impoverished in love, but some love. Every devotee must say they have some love. So with whatever love I have, whatever small sacrifice I've made, I'm trying to, from that space of my sincere heart, praying to Krishna that, please now, expand it further. So, start where you are, with what you have, and then move forward. That's all we can do.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the nice class. Maharaj, you mentioned if Krishna is being merciful to someone, he takes everything away from them. And we see that with Bali Maharaj, and the way he accepted that was a really nice way. He accepted that without giving an argument because of the spiritual background he had as Prahlad Maharaj, as his grandfather. But as starting devotees, when Krishna gives us these tests, we are sometimes unable to accept that Krishna is doing this for our benefit, and we don't have the strength and courage to accept it. So Maharaj, as kids, we see we're happy and we have everything we need, everything we want. So does that mean Krishna is not being merciful towards us, or is he reciprocating with us in a different way?
Hare Krishna. It's a long life. Life is a journey. May you eternally stay a kid. What can I say? Actually, that's the goal of life, to become innocent like a child. If you could maintain how you are now, remain as you are, life would be great. Problem is, we get complicated when we get older, so then Krishna has to complicate his plan. Yes, sometimes Krishna may do things. Right now, life is good. You don't need to worry. This class is not to make you scared. I hope it's not making you scared. But it's helping you to understand that sometimes Krishna may act like this. But sometimes Krishna may not need to. If someone understands, if someone gets it, if you listen really well in class and you absorb the message, then Krishna may not have to take away things from you, because maybe you'll learn it in an easier way. So that's the great opportunity we have if we learn by hearing. And yes, sometimes if Krishna does something and you can't understand it, then the devotees will be there. Ekaki amar nahi paya bal, harinam sankirtane. Alone, ekaki amar nahi paya bal. Alone, no strength. No. If you think you can do it alone, good luck. No chance. But in the association of Vaishnavas, make as many friends. When I first met His Holiness Bhakti-Acharya Maharaj, I was 16. How old are you?
13.
13, okay. So I met Bhakti-Acharya Maharaj when I was 16, and they told me, when you meet the Swami, you have to ask for an instruction. So I went up to Bhakti-Acharya Maharaj and I asked for an instruction. And you know what he told me? He said, when you're in Krishna consciousness, make as many friends as you can. Because the friends will carry you. We all need friendship. Even sannyasis. Everyone needs a friend. So we need friends, and with friends, anything's possible. If you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk far, walk with many. Then you'll be all right.
Thank you.
All right. I think time is taking away everything. I think we should stop now. Yeah, we have other days, so. Thank you so much, everyone, for your tolerance. Apologies if I said anything strong or wrong. Forgive me. Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki, Jai Śrīla Prabhupada ki.
Just to let everyone know that there's a few books by Maharaj outside, about 4 books. If you guys would like to buy one, you can, and then Maharaj will happily sign it and answer any questions. Thank you.